Hey guys! Alright, I'm going to do day 5 of our sneak peek, and this day is one of my favorite because I'm going to just kind of answer all of the big questions that I know you still have, and some of the questions that you even posted asking me about in this group so far. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is that feeling about being an icky salesperson, and you don't want to start doing something and then be that person that somebody sees walking down the street and like runs away because they know that all you are is about that. And you know, to be honest, when you're so passionate about something, yeah, it is something that you talk about and that obviously you're sharing on your Facebook. But would I say that it's made me feel like people are afraid to like be near me? No, because I don't just go up to somebody and be like, hey, so you should really do my Beachbody challenge. No, I don't talk about Beachbody with my family or like around my family because a lot of my family isn't into working out and eating healthy. And, you know, I do. If somebody brings it up and asks me a question, of course I'm going to answer and I'm going to be honest. But do I just sit there and shove it down people's throats? No. The people in my challenge groups are people who have come out to me and said, I have seen your stuff on Facebook. I want to do this. If they didn't like what I was posting, they could have deleted me. But they chose to sit there and watch me post, and then eventually they end up being like, I want to do this. And then they end up doing it and they usually love it. So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you're going to have to share, yes, in order to get people to want to join your journey. But are you shoving it down their throats and making people do it? No. It's honestly just a simple invite. It's not, you know, like on Facebook, I get a lot of those invites. Like I just get added to these like bag parties and like added to these nail parties. Like all of a sudden I'm just in this party and I've never even got asked to be in it. I mean, how rude is that? That's not what this is about. This is an invite. You know, sometimes, yes, we do say, hey, I'm starting a challenge group. This is what it has going on. Is this something you'd be interested in doing? If not, do you know anybody that would be? If they say no, okay. If they give you somebody else's name, okay. Usually they're not going to say no and give you somebody else's name because to them it's like, wait, what do you mean? You want somebody else? I thought you wanted me to do it. I don't want that person to get awesome results in your challenge group and me not. So then they end up doing it. Or sometimes they just don't respond to you at all. And then they end up doing it in a later month. I can't tell you how many people in my challenge groups have been like, I have been watching you forever and I finally was so sick of being like, okay, I'm sick of you and all these awesome results that they ended up joining. So, it's really, that's what it is. It's a simple invite and it's just a sharing what you know. You don't have to know every program that Beachbody has. I don't know every program that they have. I haven't done every program. You know, you talk about the ones that you know. You hear what people ask and what their goals are, and then you set them up on something the best that you can. You're not supposed to be a professional. You're supposed to be a motivator. You're supposed to be somebody who is able to stick through the hard times yourself. You're somebody who can share the hard times yourself. You're somebody who can share that you chose to eat healthy instead of bad, or you had a cheat day yourself, that you did the workout even though you didn't want to yourself. So therefore, you motivate others to do those things themselves. Another thing that I wanted to touch on was a lot of people say that they feel like they don't know enough people. Oh, you know, I just don't think I have enough friends or coworkers that would be interested in this. First of all, you have friends. You have friends, you have family members, you have coworkers. And just because you don't think they would do it, you would be surprised. I have so many people who end up messaging me and being like, I want to do this, that I never in a million years would have thought would have wanted to. Honestly, you can't be the decider. Like who made you the decider of if somebody else would decide to want to be healthy and feel better about themselves? That's not up to you to choose that. That's up to them. The other thing is that we have trainings where we actually teach you about how to grow your network and expand in a not icky way, in a way that's very personal and very you. So just to give you a sneak peek into that so you kind of know what I'm talking about. Social media has so many outlets today of how you can meet new people that are like you. So like for instance, I sat down and made a list of everything that makes me me. You know, I like to run. I'm a mom. I'm a breastfeeding mama because I breastfed Jackson for a year. I am a stepmom. I'm a newlywed. I was a fiance at one point. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a soon-to-be aunt. These are all things. I'm a puppy mama. I wrote all these things down. And on Facebook, there's different groups. of, chat groups with these things. There's a breastfeeding group that I'm in that has 30,000 women in it. A stepmom to stepmom that has a couple thousand in it. A doggy mama where you ask questions like about trainings for your puppies and stuff, And so I join these groups of things that make me me, and then I interact with these people and end up talking to them, and then they add me on Facebook or I add them, and now all of a sudden you have somebody new who's following your journey that you're painting, that you're sharing. I share that I'm doing my workouts. I share my results. I share the healthy meals I make. I share so that people are like, what is this girl doing? And then I share that I'm doing a challenge group, or that I'm hosting a sneak peek so that you can see what coaching's about, etc. So then that brings me to my next question, as I'm talking about growing our network, is how many hours do you put into this? So what I'm going to say is that in the beginning, you're doing what's called the power hour. So it's like an hour of work where that's adding people from those groups, talking to people in those groups, inviting to your challenges, posting in the challenge groups of people that are already in there. It's about an hour of work. So for those of you who have full-time jobs, you have to think the bigger picture. You have to think, okay, I could wake up a half an hour earlier in the morning and do 30 minutes in the morning and then do 30 minutes at night before I watch TV. And, does that suck sometimes? Or do it on your lunch break while you're eating lunch. You're on Facebook doing your stuff and, or on any social media. You got to think bigger picture. Right now, is it a time sacrifice? Yeah, but it's not that much for making up to a couple $100. I would say when I was doing about an hour of work with my full-time job, I had some weeks where I was a couple $100. So say let's just go on the low end, $300-400 a month for, an hour or less, 5 days a week. That's pretty good. Just kind of chilling where you need to be doing it. You can go on the beach and do it with your kids while they're swimming, and as you're growing and you're making more money and your team's building, could you go down on hours at your regular job and then put more hours into your business? Yeah, and you'll figure that out as it comes, If you have no interest in ever leaving the job that you have, then it would just stay a little side thing for you. You'd run a group here and there and make a couple $500 a month maybe and save it for a vacation or pay off a credit card. Or if you decide you want to make this your job and be your own boss and make oodles and oodles of money one day, you can be like, hey, well, I made $500 last week doing just Beachbody. Why don't I go down from 5 shifts a day or a week to 3 shifts a week? And then you'd have 2 days where you could really do some Beachbody stuff and, and build your business even more. And it's kind of like a learn as you grow type thing. It's what works for you. So that's what I would say for how many hours. In the beginning, I would say if you really are dedicated to getting it done, it can be like 45 minutes a day, 5 days a week, to really making it grow. If you just kind of want to dilly-dally here and there, you could do less, and it's just not going to grow, as quick, obviously. Another really good question that we had was, are there requirements? Meaning, are there certain amounts that you have to, like those makeup companies or wrap companies, you have to sell a certain amount to stay active, otherwise you have to pay. No, that's not how this is. You sign up as a discount coach or as a regular coach. You get the discount for your products no matter what. Doesn't matter if you don't sell a thing to anybody, if you don't ever run a challenge group, you're going to get the 25% off on everything you do. You do pay a monthly fee of $15 for your Coach Online office, but even with that factored in there, you're still saving around $30 a month on your Shakeology just by being signed up as a coach. So now as you start to build and make money, nothing else changes. It literally stays the same. You're not going to get penalized at all if all of a sudden you have a slow month where you don't do anything. They're not going to take your discount away or make you pay full price or make you pay anything back. It's not like that. And to cancel at any time is totally free also. You just quit being a coach and I show you how to call in and just cancel it, and they don't charge you anything. There's no months that you have to pay in advance or anything like that. So that's what's really nice. There are no requirements. There are no penalties, nothing like that. Another good question that we got was challenge groups and how many we run a month. So when I first started, I didn't quite have it figured out with how I was going to do it. So I was running 2 challenge groups a month. And what I've chosen to do now that my business is growing and I'm doing more of other things like these kinds of things, and I have a lot of coaches that I am mentoring, so I have to motivate them and answer their questions and help them in the beginning when they don't really know what to say. I help them with, reaching out to people to get to be in their challenge groups and stuff. So I've actually gone down to only one challenge group a month. And this is nice, I find, because I'm able to fill a group. Before, when I was doing 2 a month, I would have like one smaller one. Now I have one, and it's like one big one every single month. So you need to run at least one a month, I would say, if you want to hit any kind of income, because how are you going to expect to make any income if you're not running a group to put challengers in? That you need to get challengers in order to make money. So if you want this to be any kind of money for you, you need to be trying to get some people in a challenge group. Another good question is just kind of, I get asked like how I felt when I started with it and how I kind of got into coaching. So when I started coaching, I was working full time, and I had just gotten out of a relationship, and I was like, I don't know, just trying to figure out a way to keep my head afloat. So I had just finished my personal training. So I was going and I was personal training clients from 5 to 6, then from 6 to 7. Then I'd go shower and get ready for work from 7 until 7:45. Then I would drive to the dental office, and I would be there from 8 to 5. Then I would race to Jackson State Care, which is about 30 minutes away because they close at 5:30. So it was like always a race. Get him by 5:30. Get home by 5:50. Have to make dinner, which would be done at about 6:30. Eat with him. So now I'm finally just getting to sit down and eat with him. And it was like 6:30. And I don't know about most of you, but like my baby goes to bed at that time. He was going to bed at like 7. So I was spending like a half an hour with him. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous that we all go to work all day and then race home and have like no time with our kids. And I just decided I wanted to do something different. So I started with Beachbody coaching. I still had a full-time job. I remember my lunch breaks working at it. I remember in the mornings working at it. At night, I remember putting Jax to bed and then sitting there and working on it for hours. I remember faking going to the bathroom at the dental office so I could return messages about people who were interested in challenge groups. I mean, it was ridiculous. I was obsessed. But within about 6 months, I quit the dental office and started doing this on my own now. And, in the beginning, it's not, people are like, well, you just have such a big following now, and like you post something and you get like 100 likes, and you say you want to have a challenge group and you get all these people who say that they want to do it. That's not how it was in the beginning. I would post something, I get like 2 likes. I could literally hear the crickets coming out of Facebook on my phone. I would say I was having a challenge group, not 1 like, and so I just kept doing it. I just kept trying, because that's all that it is it's just like any other fad out there. Nobody wants to join you unless they know that you're sticking with it, I see these people on my Facebook posting about like the It Works wraps or whatever for like a week, and then all of a sudden they're not, and they're like right back to normal. And I'm like, why would I ever do that with you? You have to show that you're really in it and that you mean it. And in the beginning, I invited people. I was like, hey, I'm doing this, and I know that it's totally crazy, but, there's a money-back guarantee. Like, would you be interested in trying it? And people have amazing results with these. I've never had a single person be like, I hated this. So it's just about getting people in the beginning to kind of take a risk on you, and then as you keep going, you have more and more results to share about, more and more people who have done it, and all of a sudden, yeah, I post something now and I get a lot of people who are like, yeah. And I post that I'm having a challenge group and I get a lot of messages from people that are like, I want to be in it, I want to be in it, I want to be in it. And it's awesome. It's awesome because I've only been coaching for 9 months. 9 months. And I look at how far I've come. And even I get discouraged sometimes because I look at where I want to be. But if you look at 9 months, if in 9 months you could be working part-time at a job and part-time this and have your babies home from daycare part-time, or, work your hours. That's the whole beauty of it. Like, I'm doing this right now, but Bryn is home in the other room. So as soon as I'm done, we're going out to the beach. And I have more work to do, but I can do it tonight when everybody's asleep because I'm my own boss and nobody can say anything to me about it. And it's beautiful. So I hope that answers some of your bigger questions that you were concerned about. And, yeah, let me know any concerns that you guys have or anything I didn't touch on. I love sharing this opportunity with people because it really has changed my life. And I am certain that if you are ready to make a commitment you could have your life changed by